Alright, so we're going to go through Infinite Campus and how to create new school years, roll forward different data, and then get everything ready for online registration. So this might involve multiple videos, or if there isn't something specific in your Infinite Campus that you can find, then you might have to reach out to your Infinite Campus support or create a support ticket and ask them for assistance in order to access this area of Infinite Campus. So first thing we're going to do, if you see here, I'm in 24 or 25, 26 because I rolled forward for next year. But in order to do that, so I've done a couple of these things already. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go under Index, we're going to go under System Administration, and then School Years. And what I like to do is I like to click on my active school year. I like to take a screenshot of all of this information in here, just so that way I can make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. And then I'm going to create a new school year and name it. Okay, so if I go into school years here, I click on my active one, I click new, and I want it to look like this. So this is going to have our new start date, our new end date, and typically you're not able to do this until your school board has approved your calendar for the next school year. So I've got a 25-26 school year created, the start year is 2025, the end year is 2026. It is not active yet, and I don't want to make it active until I'm ready for online registration. That way teachers can't accidentally go in there. Only administration are going to be able to see this 25-26 school year. I'm going to put in my start date, I'm going to put in my end date, and then I'm going to click save. That's the easy way to make a school year. Then I'm going to work my way up. 1 second here. Alright, so next we're going to work our way up this calendar here, and we're going to go to Calendar Wizard. So instead of going through and making every single calendar for our school, as you see, well, I'll click my drop down here. In my 25-26 school, I've got all of my schools here. I've got Baltic Elementary, High School, Middle School, sped out of district placement. Within my Baltic Elementary, I even have it broken down into 3 separate calendars here for 4-5, JK through 3, and pre-K. And then even within pre-K, I've got a schedule for AM and PM. So it breaks it down even more granular than that. So what I want to do is I want to click this Create New Calendars by rolling forward selected data, and then I'm going to click Next. So what this is going to do is it's going to bring me, now that I've created this 25-26 school year, I'm going to have this name template, which is just the year and then the school name, as I can see over here. I'm going to enter my start date and end date, and then I'm going to select my 24 through 25 by holding the control key or click and then hold the shift key and click the bottom. I'm going to, like you can see here, control plus clicked or shift plus click for multiple. I'm going to select all of my 24-25 calendars, and then I'm going to click next. I'm not going to, because I've already done this and I don't want to break this. But then once we click next, we're going to go through this roll forward and pull forward any data that we want to pull forward. As you can see up here, what this wizard does, it walks you through the creation of new school calendars by rolling forward the data, copying existing calendars, the days will roll forward, and as we go through there, then all of that stuff is created. Once we get that done, then I work my way up one more, and I go into my calendars. I'm going to click one specifically, let's just say our high school, for example. I'm going to make sure that all of this pulled in correctly how I want it to look. So I've got 25-26 Baltic High School, my start date's correct, my end date's correct. Then I'm going to work my way across these calendars and make sure that this is all correct. My grade levels, I'm going to make sure that this is all correct. My schedule structure, it should just say main. And if I don't know what this looks like or what this looked like in the past, I just go up here to year, go back to 24-25, click on my calendar, click on it, make sure that it looks the same. Click on the grades, make sure it looks the same. I can switch back and forth within these years now that I've got them created, and then I just make sure that I'm working in the correct school calendar that I want to work in. Where we're going to need to update some things if we want is going to be in this in this terms tab. So this is where you set semesters, this is where you'd set quarters. You do your start and end dates for your semesters or your quarters. I'm going to work on my period schedule, so how my day works. So in Baltic we've got a 7-period day with a lunch and an advisory period, and then I structure how that looks down here. This should all be somewhat familiar to you if you've done this before. And then I'm going to do my days reset. So I'm going to click day reset, do my start and end date, click the days of the week, and then click go on that. And then overrides, calendar GPA, and copy section placements I don't use personally. But I'm going to go through each calendar and make sure that that's set correctly. Okay? Because you won't be able to do this days reset and click this start and end date if you're in your calendar, if this start and end date aren't correct. So those have to match. Okay? Now, once I have all of my calendars created, all my school years created, I'm going to now go to the index up here, and I'm going to click roll forward, or start typing in roll. And I want to use this enrollment roll forward. And I'm going to roll forward, I always like to start in my high school. I'm going to roll forward my grade levels into the calendars that I just created. So my source grades are going to be, because I'm rolling forward into the high school, so I'm going to go 8, 9, 10, and 11, because I'm going to roll them forward into the freshman through senior class. So I'm going to click 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm going to click primary. I click all of these. Yep. And then I want to say, where do I want it to go? Or how do I want it to go? I'm going to say current student, because all these students are currently ours. And then where do I want the optional destination calendar? I want them to go into the 24-25 or 25-26 Baltic High School. The destination grade, oops, sorry, we're going to do one at a time. I like to do one at a time just in case it messes it up for whatever reason. I do not need, so I'm going to select main, it's the schedule structure that we've got in there. I don't need to do a start date override. And then include students whose enrollment ends on the last day of the last term. So I'm going to run a test, see how this looks. Let's see here. Oops. I have to select the source calendar that I'm pulling from. There we go. So it's going to pull from the 24-25 middle school of 8th grade, and it's going to put it in the 25-26 high school main 9, and there's 32 students that's happening to. Looks good to me. I'm going to press run. It just did that for me. Now I'm going to go into, so usually what I do on this is I have a little check mark with all the grades on it and a little sticky note that tells me what, I have a column on the left that's got pre-K through 12, and then another column on the right side that's got what grade they're going to roll into, and I put a check mark next to them as I get them done, because we all know how easy it is to get pulled away or have a phone call happen and have to be able to come back to something. So pause the video, get that done. I'm going to do the rest of the high school, and then I'll come back and show what the rest looks like. Alright, so I just finished up with 11 to 12. One thing to note is that you do have to switch that source calendar here in the drop down, because as we just did 8 to 9, that was a middle school grade going into a high school grade. Then as we do 9 or 10, 11, 9, 10, 11 into 10, 11, 12, we have to switch the source calendar that we're going through. So I've got 8th grade through 11th grade moved into 9th grade through 12th grade. So now I'm going to work into my middle school, and I want to get my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So I'm going to do, I just do this kind of weird, so if you've got a different process that you do, you guys, that's totally fine. You go ahead and do it however you want. But I'm going to do 5th grade to 6th grade first, just seems to be how my brain works. So I'm going to click on my 24-25, 4th through 5th. I'm going to grab my 5th graders first, and I'm going to move them into the 25-26 middle school, and I'm going to move them into 6th grade. Main calendar, let's see how that looks. Yep, looks like I'm moving my Baltic Elementary 5th grade into the middle school main 6th grade. Beautiful. We'll run that. I'm going to check it off on my sheet. Close that tab. Now I need to move into the middle school. I'm going to go 6th grade, and I'm going to move them into 7th grade. If I wanted to, I could click this main too, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I moved 36 students. Now I'm going to do 7th into 8th, middle school to middle school. 7th into 8th. Good to go there. My middle school is done. Now I'm going to go back to my sheet. Now I want to do the I'm going to do, let's see here. Let's do 4th and 5th grade. That just makes it easier on my brain. 4th into 5th and 3rd into 4th. Okay. So we're going to go 24-25 JK through 3. I need the 3rd graders, and I'm going to move them into the 4-5 calendar. I want them to go into 4th grade. 3rd grade into 4th grade, run. And 4th grade, we're going to have to move this into 5th grade. 4, 5, 4th, main, 5, main, 1. Beautiful. So I've got all the way down to 4th grade, so now we're going to do JK through 3. So this is where it gets a little interesting because some of my junior kindergartners go into kindergarten the following year. This is usually where I have to call my elementary principal and just to figure out how that all works, because I don't remember from year to year. So usually I skip that one, but let's do kindergarten, KG, kindergarten out of the 24-25 calendar, and we're going to put them in 1st grade. So I've got kindergarten going from 24-25, kindergarten 25-26, Baltic JK through 3 going into 1st grade. So I'm going to do KG to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, because I've already got my 4th and 5th grade done as well. So checking again, 24-25, Baltic JK through 3, kindergarten 25-26 into 1st grade. Let's just run a test, double check. Yep, that looks good. Run. Now we're going to do 1st grade. I don't remember which one it is. There's these 2 grade sources. It likes to make things confusing on us. I think it's the 01, because that's what just moved over some of our kids here. We'll run the test. If there's no kids in there, then we know it's the wrong one. Okay, so we're going to do 1st grade into 2nd grade. Run that. 2nd grade into 3rd grade. Beautiful. So now I've got, and now I want my pre-K kiddos, or sorry, my JK kiddos to go into kindergarten. So we're going to do JK into KG. And we can always go back and edit these students' enrollments too. It's totally something that we can do. I'm going to pause the video, double check with my principal, and make sure that's what we need. Alright, double checked with our elementary principal there real quick. Our JK does go into our kindergarten, but some of our pre-K students can go into either JK or kindergarten, or they stay in pre-K depending on how many years, so we don't roll those ones forward. So now that I've got all my students rolled forward and they're in there, I should be able to search them. So I like to search my sister up just because that's fine. So before, when I would go into student search, I wouldn't be able to see this. Now she's red in here because we haven't started school, but at least now I'm seeing students pull up. Okay, so now what I could do is my counselor This is where your counselor or whoever your registrar is might want to go in and start making a schedule for them. They would be able to, in theory, do this. Same thing with my principal. Might want to come in here, I'm getting this out of the way, might want to come in here and do a walk-in scheduler and start building her schedule. Okay, so these are the steps that we need to do in order to be able to do that within Infinite Campus and get these requests. I could go in and add requests for this student, but we want, typically what we do for our students here is we want to turn on this online registration to where they can go in and do that. I'll make that in a separate video now that this video has gotten to about 15 minutes, but that's how we would set up that structure for our school year and for our calendars and for our enrollment roll forward. We have to do all that first before we can do the walk-in scheduler, before we can do online registration. And a lot of people get the online registration for enrolling in school mixed up with the online registration for registering for classes. So when you're talking to people, make sure that you're referencing which one of those you're talking about. Typically at our school, now what we talk about is the walk-in scheduler with course requests. That's how we've kind of changed that language so that way we don't confuse which one we're actually talking about. So I will make all that stuff in another video and show you how to do that.